Kumai, 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 kumai. Mai kalani pa ke kumu honua e. Mai ki kualono at moana e. E ho'olo kahi e. Mai kapiko o luna o kapiko e kahi ai. Aloha nā kua e ala e nā kua e o mau ia nei. Mai kapiko o vaina o kapiko e lua ai. Mala mai taina e ala I ke au nei o mau ia nei. Mai kapiko o lalo kapiko e koluai. Aloha kai ke kai e ala e. I ke kanaka e o mau ia nei. E pupu kahi e vai nui e. O kalo kahi e ai. E aloha e. E aloha e. E aloha kākou e. Aloha mai kākou. Noho I lalo, mahalo. Okay, so we don't know what we're gonna do. No, we know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Both Auntie Nani and I have been Kupuna in the Hawaii, have been Kupuna in Hawaiian Studies Program for a long time, and today we're going to talk about, the evolution of the Kupuna program over the past 40 years. My name is Kimo Awai. You can call me Uncle Kimo. You can call me Kupuna. Just don't call me late for I. Okay? And this is...
I'm Auntie Nani Nāʻope, and I've been in the Kupuna program since 1992, starting on Oahu, until I moved back home to Hilo in Kilkaha, where Uncle and I have been working together for 100 years now.
150.
Yeah, in the DOE Hawaiian Studies Program. So Uncle's, I'm the complex coordinator for Hawaiian Studies for Hilo Waikea.
And I'm the complex area coordinator for Hawaiian Studies for the Kea'au, Ka'u, and Puna complex.
Aye.
Aka, we always pilina with each other because we were both Hawaiian Studies teachers at Keaukaha Elementary School during the tenureship of Kumulehua Vincent, who really made the foundation of Hawaiian education really solid for us. But I'm a second generation Hawaiian Studies teacher. My mom, Auntie Kanani Awai, was Kupuna of Haleiwa Elementary School for nearly 42 years prior to the implementation of the Hawaiian Studies Kupuna component. So my mom has been within the educational system, actually when it was just a pilot program. We all know that the reason why this took place, Hawaiian Studies Kupuna component, was because of the great concern that Kupuna had about cultural identity. Yeah, so my mom was in the pilot project, and then she stayed on board. By the time she retired from the Department of Education, she was 88 years old, and she was teaching her great-grandchildren in school. When I was asked, did you always want to become a kupuna in the DOE? My response first is, are you insane? Are you crazy? who would want to tackle this kind of kuleana? Well, I was shanghaied into it by my mother when I would fly to Oahu and visit her school. I'm an artsy person, so she would put me to work drawing na-na-na-nas and all this kind of stuff for her class. And then one day she said, why don't you go and apply for it? And at that time I was a nurse. And so I'm thinking, going from nursing, to children, I don't know if I can do that. But I went and I applied for the job on a Friday and I was placed in school on a Monday. And when I walked into my first class and I looked into the eyes of those children, I told myself, dang, I have to teach them something. What can I teach them? And so in the beginning, you don't know what you're going to teach because you don't know how much Hawaiian influence, how much Hawaiianness has influenced you as an individual in a Hawaiian home. All I knew was that my grandparents planted taro. They were both educators. They spoke fluent Hawaiian, and I wanted to be just like them. Yeah.
So my in sharing with Uncle's story, it's like on Oahu, it was I played music. So one of the Kupuna said, "Hey, you can come Kupuna program, And one, I was thinking I'm too young. And number two, it was the fact, you can be called Makua. And so, but in learning under the Kupuna of Kona district on Oahu, from the those that have kind of set the tone and my nurturing, the more I learned, the more I wanted to know. And so as a result of that, I said, you know what? I go in school. And so that's when I got my bachelor's degree in Hawaiian Studies. And of course, I would practice my homework on the kamali'i, they not knowing, but it was inspirational. And it's just, there was no stopping. And inspired by our kupuna, and the more there's a necessity, there's more needed today more than ever. To raise up the next generation of our students in Ike Hawaii, coming home to Hawaii, Hawaiʻi Island, boosh, because of all of the fabulous things. My mentor at that time was still is, but we're pretty much twins. We partner. Because he got me into Napuano e ao no hoi kulu komohana. And workshops here and everything like that. But it added. I saw more of the importance to educate teach our children, share with the teachers, and one of the kuleana is you go home, teach your ohana, share with your ohana what you learned. So now we're here for 40th anniversary of our Kupuna program, and it's exciting times. A lot have changed, and take it away, Uncle.
One of the things about Kupuna, because we work for the Department of Education, we have no control over budget. We have no control over monies. We have no control over that. We work with what we have. And that has been 40 years. We work with what we have. Budgets are cut and all this kind of stuff. But Kupuna show up to school. They show up at school because the primary concern is keiki. That's the primary concern. It's not the budget. It's not this. It's not that. It's just na kamali'i apau. And we hanalike me na kamali'i. We hanalike me na ohana na kamali'i. We hanalike me na kahua. We hanalike with everybody. And so to us, when sometimes they say, oh, we don't have enough money for this and we don't have enough money for that. We get the kai, we get the forest, we get all that kind of stuff. Manuahi valeno, we're going to create curriculum, no matter whether we have the money or we don't have the money. We're going to do it because Hawaii's keiki are most important. And Hawaii's keiki are unique in the world family. Because of who they are, the families that they belong to, and the tethering that is taught to them from a very, very young age, that without each, it's a hemea kako, it's a we all together thing. Survival, all that kind of stuff is hemea kako.
Okay. Yeah, so we came from a lot of the curriculum that the Kupuna had, or the teachers had actually, I think it was 1984. The different color, legal size curriculum was built for mainly for the kumu, but our Kupuna just took it to another level, you know. And so they made their own training aids. If you could, you took things into the classroom, and the main part of that was the Namea Waiwai, yeah, the values. So in the Hawaiian Studies Program, from the Kupuna, it was they when they walk into class with their big lauhala eke, you know, that is the magic bag of lessons and what's to come, and all the kamali'i would be anxious, you know, to see, but it's like mekahana ka ike, yeah. So you teach them things that they can use, yeah. Kilo, you take them outside, kilo, you know, and a lot of the we still have posters in our office from Kupuna who retired like 20 years ago. The family members don't know what to do with all these posters, and handmade charts, and some of them are in their writing. They had beautiful, you know, beautiful writing and these posters, and we knew who did those. And it's like, I don't know how to digitize this really, but it's so valuable. They used to make folders out of the telephone book. You remember the telephone covers? Yeah, a lot of us don't remember what a telephone book is, but you know, but it's made pocket folders, you know, but they were so beautiful, but nothing went to waste. And okay, our lesson today is going to be about the kukui. So let's go outside under the kukui tree, and the lesson begins. So it's just mekahana ka ike. Yeah, on hand.
I had the opportunity of being interviewed for the Kupuna component on KHON TV. Christy Ueno was the interviewer, and she asked me certain questions. And one of the questions she asked was, "What do you see that's going to be what can you see for the next 40 years of Hawaiian Studies education?" And I said, well, you know, in reality, nobody could really fathom what has transpired over the past 40 years. What has transpired over the past 40 years all came to be because of a few key kupuna that lived kona, hilo, Kauai, from Oahu. Auntie Betty Jenkins, if you know Auntie Betty Jenkins, she was a propellant of the Hawaiian Studies Kupuna component. If you come from the island of Hawaii, especially Hilo, Auntie Edith Kanakaole was a propellant. If you go to Kona, Kahu Keala was a propellant. You go to Maui, you have other people that were propellants, all with the same concern about cultural identity. And our children look Hawaiian, they have Hawaiian names, but they didn't know how to behave Hawaiian. Yeah, and it wasn't their fault. It was because of the transition, the changing of time, the ho'ohuli of time. So the first 40 years was establishing the groundwork, the foundation of it. When Christy Ueno asked me, what can I see the next 40 years? And I talked about the leadership of Hawaii, how the leadership is going to change because these children were all influenced by some sort of Hawaiian studies while they were growing up. So as far as what's going to happen in the future, an increase in Hawaiian-speaking children, going to come to families. We can hear it all the time, where 40 years ago, you hardly heard it. I graduated in 1970 from Lahaina Luna School. In 1968, the implementation of Hawaiiana was put into effect. So in 1968, my junior year, I took Hawaiiana for the first time. And I realized that the teacher that was teaching Hawaiiana was not an Olelo person. She didn't know how to speak. She was Filipino, teaching outside of her, teaching outside of that. And there were 3 people in class, me included, that kind of sort of had grandparents that spoke Olelo. And so here we are, 16 years old, trying to conduct the first Hawaiiana classes implemented by the Department of Education. But that was like 50 years ago almost. Today, we see a resurgence because there is more concern about it now. We have children that are loving the idea of being Hawaiian, and they love the idea of how genius. I use the term genius. Casey Hanoa, Casey Hanoa, our kako'o here, she was a product of Keaukaha School, and when your children love who they are, where they come from, and the contributions that they can make to society, when they understand how important they are, it makes them ho'ala, it makes them wake up. Yeah. So in the beginning, it was Kupuna were hired in school to sing songs, tell stories, make lays. That was it. Here we are 40 years later with established curriculum guides, implementation of new things coming down. We have an Office of Hawaiian Education now, where 40 years ago there was none. We have a new superintendent. We have Superintendent Sang Kau'i now, who we can go to for guidance. We have people like Ku'ule Makua Kelena, who is sitting on site with us today. We can go to them. And the wonderful thing about it is that Ohana plays a key part in all of this. Are we family to each other? Yeah, we all know the word Ohana, but sometimes it's just a word. Yeah, because we don't know how to act upon it.
Yeah. So that pilina is really important, that relationship that you have with the folks that you work with, in the Hawaiian Studies, your relationship with the school as well as the teachers, the community. There are children that are adults now, and they come up and they say, they recognize, especially if I'm on the walking around with him, he go, "That's my kupuna," and that's their child recognizing, kupuna Awai. And I'm anti to everybody, but it's like, "Hey, Auntie Nani," and they have children now, and their children are in our classes. So, but the impact that Hawaiian Studies, kupuna, that Ikepono, that is in the classroom is so significant that it's just mind-boggling. Imagine what we can do now with COVID coming onto the scene. It changed the whole realm for us, for our kupuna, but guess what? There's still holomua. Said, I can do this, and so, okay, what button I click now? But it's so exciting to see them turn on, because remember, our kupuna said, work smarter, not harder. Embrace new things, embrace new technology. You're always gonna meet with resistance to change, I did. But anyway, it's like now with everything that we're learning together, it's so maikai. And however, we still cannot wait to get into class And so it's that alo ike alo with the mask and the plaque and the 6 feet distancing. However, you can still get the mele across. You can still get the hula across, because our kids now are pretty much, behind the screen. So when we Zoom with them, when we have an opportunity, it's like kui luna, it's like kui luna. Po'o maka ihua, all of the mele, and it's like, turn your screen on, da 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 da, and it's recently we started seeing, especially with Papa Malo'o, the younger ones, you see the kupuna come around the screen and they know behind on the couch. So like that reaches really my ka'i, but they see what their children are missing. But it's like we'll get through this. So the challenge is, we don't know, we no can. Yeah. And kupuna, we're going to try. We're going to try. We're going to try.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we get slides.
We get slides. So okay, we're going to start our slideshow. And then we're going to talk about it.
I can see them.
Yes, we can, Auntie Nani. Perfect.
I'm sorry, I need to use proper English. Are you able to see the screen? Okay. My ka'i. Okay,
You guys can help me. You guys know where this obstacle.
Uncle.
Hey.
How are you, Uncle Jimmy?
Good. Good.
My name.
Yeah. This is a kai. This is a Kaui's voice.
We're working on it. Yeah, we're doing yeah. Out of our other office, like we have 97 of them. But so we talked about the 40th anniversary, and there are upcoming events. We're in the planning with OHE Office of Hawaiian Education, right? Movement, hub, of course, Hopena Aʻo. That's part of the changes that I'm gonna lock the door after this. Now, the things we've adjusted to and learned to embrace, and a lot of it still, though it is all place-based learning, and that is what our Kupuna continued to do. So, because it's all about where we are, where our community is, and our Kupuna. So, Uncle Kimo. So this.
So while school is in session, Kupuna play a big part. We on the island of Hawaii, we've incorporated something called La Kupuna, or a day where the children spend time with Kupuna. We use this as a professional development day, and we take all the Kupuna and we choose one school that we're going to converge upon. And the reason why we converge upon these schools is usually because their foundation of Hawaiian education is very weak. And so we go as a whole group of Kupuna to show not only the children, they're there to have fun, but we go there to show the teachers and the administrators the importance of Hawaiian education, the implementation of Hawaiian education on their campuses. So on the top left side, you see Kupuna at Waiakea Elementary School. Student population is over 1,000. And the Hawaiian Studies Kupuna component play host to these students in utilizing makahiki games, lei making, mo'olelo, anything that is place-based and tethers to the location of that school and that school's community. In the center picture at the top is Kupuna's contribution to reforestation. Professional development is spent sometimes in the forest, repopulating koa trees as a contributive effort from Hawaiian Studies Kupuna component back into the forest again. The top right picture, you see the statue at Kohala, where we take Kupuna to Iole. We take them to Iole, and Iole is a place where we have Kamehameha's lo'i, where he actually contributed in the construction of the lo'i. Bottom left side is protocols during one of our Kupuna conferences, which we hold every single year. Yeah, and all the islands participate in this. Every year, a different island or a different moku on the island will play host. Yeah, the picture is taken at Halima'uma'u when we held our Kupuna conference in Ka'u. The middle picture is Kupuna Tom of Kea'au Elementary School. She is an expert kapa maker. In the picture, she is discussing the meanings of certain design patterns. The last picture on the bottom is taken at Keoho Kona. Yeah, again, Kupuna went into the Iliahi forests, yeah, to learn about the fragility of Hawaii's ecosystem and what is happening to Hawaii's ecosystem because of the introduction of global warming and other pollutants.
Okay. And I couldn't help but put these ki'i in. We're at Punalu'u, Ka'u, and we have on the left side we have Kupuna Jesse and Kupuna Pang, yeah, Kupuna Pang, and it was such an honor to be around our Kupuna from all the islands, and Kupuna Jesse K is of Pahala, and she's a historian for Ka'u, and we're so grateful that we get to spend time with her. And so at Punalu'u, makahana ka'ike. So they did learned about weaving bracelets and also making umeke. So this is mom, Uncle Kimo's mom, and
in the purple,
Hali'iwa shirt, and that's the Auntie Dorothy, Awai. But that wasn't a fake smile, guys. You know, we were able to capture her. She finished that umeke, you know, by the end of the night. So by the end of the afternoon. So yeah.
So we haven't talked about that beautiful lady in the blue. This is Kupuna Pang, and Kupuna Pang served schools in Eva, and when she came to this conference, she was well into her 90s and still contributing, still believing in Hawaiian education. And in my heart of hearts, you know, that's what we aspire to be. In the KHON interview, there was a picture of Kupuna Pang at this advanced age, standing in front of a classroom with, you can swear it was more than 50 or 60 kids. And the question was, how does one person command this kind of respect? It's just Kupuna. You know, Kupuna only love. That's all Kupuna know. They know love that has no limitation. And in pouring out this aloha for their children, the children in turn pour out their aloha back to the Kupuna. One of the interviewers, well, my brother was online, and my brother compared Kupuna to the answering of a question by a Western teacher who had come to Hawaii to learn about Hawaiian studies, and she had asked my brother, "What is the difference between what Kupuna teach, how Kupuna teach, and how Western educators teach. And the answer was simple. The answer was, well, when your children come into class, how do they greet you? And she said, oh, good morning, Mrs. So-and-so. And he says, well, the difference is when they walk into Kupuna's classroom, there's this overwhelming feeling of aloha that they have to go, not only say good morning, but they have to show. They have to show how they feel. So that physical contact with Kupuna is something that children endear and they wait for.
And you want to set this one? And it's in a lot of times that school environment is a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that one place of learning about the indigenous people. If they're not Hawaiian, they feel Hawaiian with with Hawaiian studies, because it's really important. Is like where you live, and so Uncle Kimo has been busy with going back to the coming forward in 2021, because he just completed this mele and video that I'm about to show you. You want to bala'o first, or just show you?
I like see their faces.
You like see their faces?
I like see
Okay.
their faces.
So here we go.
Akahai is kindness. Open up your heart. Lokahi is unity. We're never far apart. Olu Olu is gentleness. Behaving pleasantly. Humility, we're equal, you and me. Hallelujah is patience. Wait and see. Akahai is kindness. Open up your heart. Lokahi is unity. We're never far apart. Olu Olu is gentleness. Behaving pleasantly. Humility. We're equal, you and me. Olu is patience. Wait and see.
Oh no, Mr. Bill. Okay, there you guys.
Ooh, faces.
That was spooky. Okay, so what we wanted to do, did you see the video? Hiki, okay.
Did you sing? Did you sing? Can you teach your children that song? Can you teach your children that song?
Aloha, yes. Could I have the chords for that one? If can.
See, Nani.
Kauai, yes.
Hi,
Mai.
Yeah, it's played in the key of C. It's played in the key of C because I only know how to play in the key of C.
Got it.
I'm gonna tell you the mo'olelo on how this video project came about, because he surprised me, sent me an email, and I went, whoa, because I just shared before we start that we low tech, okay? We are low tech. However,
Aloha.
No kaho'oli. Okay, so how did this start? We know that Kupuna were having a hard time. Administrators were having a hard time on how they're going to tether Kupuna into their...
Sorry, click to exit so we can see your face. End of slideshow, it says click to exit. We cannot see your face.
Oh, wait.
Please,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now. Hazin mo ugly.
Being recorded.
That's all right.
Ole. Mai ka'i.
So all the schools were kind of caught up because although the schools had Kupuna on staff and stuff like that, they really didn't know how are they going to tether Kupuna this year with online education, yeah. More so because Kupuna, honey, we stuck with Pika and Elite typewriter. That's our time. Electric typewriter, Pika and Elite typewriter. That's us. Yeah.
Or penny color.
Yeah. Or penny color, you know,
Marker.
a penny marker. Yeah, we know how to do that. So, you know, the first quarter is like, ho'oma'a minakupuna ya ihanai. Yeah. How are we going to get Kupuna comfortable that they can do this? Okay. So first quarter was one thing. Second quarter was, okay, they were doing better. But then now, there was a call for creating a website with as many things that Kupuna taught, yeah, that would be accessible to every single teacher, every single person, whatever, and that the DOE would play an important role in this Ho'ohuli initiative. Yeah, that was one way of getting Kupuna into the classroom. Yeah, whether it's Oivie, Kaheana ena Ivie. That's not only the music, but it's the dance that goes with the music. It's the mo'olelo that goes with the music. So you have, the teacher would have access to a montage of information that deal with only one song. Yeah. What's the other one?
But Alaka, no.
Yeah.
Makiki o ka aina.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kiki Okaina. I am a Kiki Okaina. Kiki Okaina, that's me. I was born upon a mokupuni in the middle of a deep blue sea. Yeah. So what it did for me is that I started to write music. I started to write little ditties that would pertain to certain areas in Hawaiian culture that was being taught. Yeah. I am a Kiki Okaina was the first thing that I wrote, and then I sent it out to everybody, all the kupuna within the DOE, and I know that they took it to their schools. So you know, my kupuna Ike Manao is like, oh, we can grab all the elementary schools and bring them all together, and they can all sing I am a Kiki Okaina, a reaffirmation of who they are as individuals. Yeah, they're not Kiki o America. No. They Kiki o Keia Aina. Keia Aina. Yeah, they Kiki o Keia Aina. Yeah, and so these songs become reaffirmations for them every time they sing it. Yeah, you ask them, you know, what kind Kiki you? I'm a Kiki o Aina. Where are you born? On a mokupuni in the middle of a deep blue sea. Answer the question. What is a mokupuni? An island. Okay, what island you live on? This island. What moku you live in? This moku. Yeah. Things like hamakua, aina paliku. Yeah. And you go hilo, ika ua lehua e. Yeah. All this kind of mauna kea, mauna loa, kila wea kohala hua lalai. Mountains. All these things, you can put it through music and dance, yeah? And it'll touch every aspect of Hawaiian education. Does it become palatable? Is it palatable to the kids? Yeah. Is it palatable to the teachers? Yeah. Is it palatable to the administrator? Yeah. So everything is a yeah situation, yeah? But we, as Kupuna Ike, yeah, was taking technology, yeah, loading it up with all this Ike Kupuna, yeah, in the forms of music and mo'olelo and whatever. Yeah. You want a story about Pele? Which one you like? Press the button. Go over there. You get them. Yeah. Who's gonna tell the story? Kupuna. Virtual excursions. Who are you going excursions with? Kupuna. Yeah. Kupuna Manao, all over the place. Yeah. My implementation as a director of KKP Complex, yeah, is that all my schools follow this format. And sitting on the table with state, I expect nothing less. Yeah, we're all there. We all can jump on this boat, on this va'a, and we can all do it together. The thing is that he mea kako, Kauai Island, throw stuff inside. Oahu Island, throw stuff inside. So there's a whole montage of information that is readily accessible to everybody. How do you feel about that? Thumbs up? Show me the thumbs. Show me the thumbs.
Or shaka is
Or
good
shaka
too.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, shaka. And the Lusana.
I like that.
So, okay. So now we have 5 minuke. Yeah, we have 5 minutes. So now we're gonna have Q&A. You can ask anything. Uncle, how you do this? Uncle, what you do this? Yeah, so ask if we can help you. We're here to kokua.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Kupuna Awai, I'm going to turn it over to Devin because there's questions in the chat that he can moderate. Okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, Devin.
There's quite a few questions. I'm gonna try to choose two of the top ones. The first big one is, where can we get a copy of your mele/video?
Kool-Aid. Send. Okay.
You did that?
Okay. You're gonna make a request to Auntie Nani. Because you have it, right?
Yeah.
yeah. This is just like Napuano Ea when I used to work for her. Auntie Nani, you can, yeah. Okay. So, what's her?
Yeah, it's n.naope@gmail.com or ku'ulemakua at Office of Hawaiian Education.
O Kalena.
Mahalo. Any more, Dev?
Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
Sure.
Let's go with, how could schools have kupuna on campus daily? And it's a two-pronged question. The second part is it feasible to have those interactions every school day?
Yes. Yes. Your kupuna need to be on campus. Yeah, there needs to be an understanding between the administrator and the Office of Hawaiian Education that they're going to have kupuna on campus. That's the only way they're going to get funded. Do kupuna make physical contact with the children while on campus? No, because kupuna are high-risk employees. Yeah, so they stay within their ke'ena, yeah, and they shoot the information from their ke'ena to the classes.
Either Google Meet or Zoom
or webinar, whatever the schools use. Yeah, the intention behind behind our movement as kupuna is that we're in their eyes and we're in their ears and we're in their na'au.
Yeah.
In as much as we're not physically with them in class, they know that we're physically with them on campus. Yeah. So
gotcha. Okay, one more. We have some time.
Go, brother, go.
Okay, so during COVID, some DOE schools do not have Hawaiian studies offered. Why is that, and how can we advocate for our keiki?
Okay, the reason why they don't have Hawaiian studies as an offering is because they don't know where to implement them, where to put them in. Whether it's going to be in their science, whether it's going to be in their history, whether it's going to be in any type of
subjects.
Yeah, in the core subjects. They don't know how to do that. So that's why the implementation of this montage of information provided by Kupuna was vitally important for us this year. That we put the songs, we put the mo'olelo, we put everything on site. So wherever the teachers are, yeah, they can tap into it. Yeah. However, it is imperative that every school have Kupuna on campus.
Right. And there's an authentic assessment that goes with it when the Kupuna is on campus delivering, because if to find out if the kamali, the haumana got the information, got the lesson or anything like that, they have to hold ike. Okay, so show me the mele.
Yeah.
I mean, sing for me, or come here, yeah.
Yeah, with me, all my kids, I tell them, you know it. They go, yeah. I go, nah. You go, yeah. I go, nah. And the more they go, yeah, then I tell them, show me then. Show me then. Yeah, because that's Hawaiian education. Show me then. Show me. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in, Kupuna Awai and Auntie Nani, and I just want to say thank you so much. And I will chime in a little bit because in the chat someone put how they're so fortunate. We're so fortunate that Kupuna evolves with the many changes. And I will say I can attest that Kupuna Awai and Auntie Nani, when I first started working with them, it was mele, mo'olelo. And then we moved into like makahiki festivals. We moved into creating our own little Merry Monarch costumes for May Day. So they definitely have been changing over time too, and making those necessary changes as we progress. So big mahalo to Kupuna, Awai, and Auntie Nani, and celebrating their 40th anniversary with the Kupuna program. Can we all turn on our cameras and give them a round of applause for their fun presentation? And so with that said, this session is concluded. So please leave your chats. You can find the links to your next session in the chat. And yeah, we'll see you at the next session. Mahalo.